I'm going to press it. Here's what I'm going to ask you to do as you journal this morning. Write down at least 5 things that you're thankful for today. Take a look at your life, at least 5 things you're thankful for. I'm going to ask you to write down 5 people that you're thankful for. How many of you on the screens wouldn't be who you are today if it wasn't for certain people in your world that stood for you in difficult days, that walked alongside you, that partnered with you, that loved you well, right? So write down 5 people you're thankful for. Write down 5 I am statements. This is who I am. Claim today who you are as you step into this week. So I'm going to turn it on. You guys take a few minutes and journal, and then we'll circle right back up. All right, here we go. Let me make sure I click the right button. There we go. That time I did. So proud of myself. Here we go. Take a few minutes this morning. Get your heart right. Get your heart right. Hear that music. Thumbs up.
I keep fighting voices in my mind that say I'm not enough. Every single lie that tells me I will never measure up. Am I more than just the sum of every high and every low? Remind me once again just who I am, because I need to know. The only thing that matters now is everything you think of me. In you I find my worth, in you I find my identity. Taking all I have and now I'm laying it at your feet. You'll have every failure, God. You'll have every victory.
come on. Makes a difference when you can hear the music, right? Come on now. Makes a difference. Makes a difference. Hey, let's hear from you this morning. Put your digital hand up so that I can see you. What's something that you wrote down that you're grateful for this morning? What's maybe one of your intentions today? What's a win that you had this week? Anything we want to share this morning as we get started? I will start off while you guys start to put your digital hands up. And I will start by saying that for the last 5 years on this week, I would already be in a bold room historically. I would have flown out last night. I would have been gone for 4 days in a row, come back on Thursday nights. And I will tell you, man, those 5 years changed my world, changed my life. I got to walk alongside so many of you, and I'm beyond thankful. And I just want to pause real quick for a couple things. Number one, I want to say a huge thank you to every bold coach that's out there on the road today and this week. Can y'all give it up for our bold coaches out there, right? Those of you who are in real estate out there going after it, man. They're away from their families and just going after it, all right? Helping people change their world, change their lives. So come on, bold coaches. And then secondly, I also want to say that I am super thankful today in the same breath that this morning that life looks different for us, that this morning I got to kiss my bride. Good morning. Come on now, right? Here in a little bit, I'm going to get to hang out with my kiddos and my bride for lunch. And I'm super thankful that I get to do that this year, that our life has moved like that. And I'm thankful I get to be on a call right now with 110 of you. Come on, as we start our week right. So who wants to kick us off? Mr. David Blagan, go for it, sir.
Good morning.
Mr. Blagan, go for it, buddy.
Well, this incredible insight came to me yesterday, and I wrote it down while I was thinking of it. Now that my life has order, I do not have to attempt to bring disorder into other people's lives when they disappoint me.
Wow. Come on. Hey, I'm going to have him say that again so everybody can write that down. Okay. That's a way to start the call. Dave, would you say that one more time?
Sure, be happy to. Now that my life has order, I do not have to attempt to bring disorder into other people's lives when they disappoint me.
Come on. Well said, David. Well said. Hey, on the call, who knows who gets to order? Who gets to order your days? You do, yes? Right? You make the choice. The choice makes you. I love that, David. What a position to be in. Catherine, how about you? Go ahead, Catherine. I think you have your hand up, Catherine. Can you hear me? Catherine Cook, can you hear me? We'll go to Matt. Matt, go for it, brother.
Hey guys, so I actually copied those questions into Facebook just now, and I'm making a post trying to let other people join. So I actually went through and let's go, where it is. So I said, people I'm thankful for: family, coworkers, the everyman, so cashiers, janitors, other drivers, coaches and mentors and preachers who give us perspective and wisdom.
Come on, man. Yeah, there we go. Well said, Matt. Well said. Very good. Anybody else this morning? What are you grateful for? Who are you? Kim, go ahead, ma'am.
Good morning. I'm just so honored that you actually are doing this call, Dusty. And I think it's amazing that you're making sure it's open to everybody, not just certain industries. And it's funny you say that about bold, because when I was mentioning my 5 people this morning, actually, Rich Carpentieri, who was one of my first bold coaches that was very instrumental in my life, came to mind, as well as you, Dusty. You were my last bold coach. And I just am so honored for you and your family and what you are striving to continue to do for everybody.
Well, thank you, Kim. If you guys don't know Kim, you should. What an incredible person, incredible heart. And Kim, thank you for the opportunity. I get to walk alongside you. It's been absolutely incredible. We met way back right as the pandemic was about to hit, right, Kim? I was coming out there to Ocala, Florida, and then did y'all know we had a pandemic? Anybody? You remember that? Yeah. Shut the whole thing down. So hey, if we hadn't had that though, look, we wouldn't be doing this. What a gift that we're able to get together like this and start our week off right. Anybody else this morning? Anything to say? Any wins? Anything at all? Anybody? Got any more? I'm making sure they don't see any more hands. There we go. We got one. Bonnie, Edwina, go for it, Bonnie.
Okay, so I have been helping one of our agents and coaching her with scripts and all the things over the last month or 2 months. And she legit has 3 buyers under contract in less than a week now.
Come on. Come
And
on.
there's nothing more fun to get to see her success.
Yeah.
Super fun.
Awesome when you see it, when you see the results, right? We put in the activities, we dig into it, and then you see the results of it. Great job, Bonnie, and great job to your agent out there. Well done.
Thank you.
Edwina, you go this morning. Round us out.
So I just came back from a fabulous weekend, my 50th high school reunion. It was so awesome. There was, I think, like 52 of us, of our classmates that came back. And it was just so much fun to reconnect with some people, meet people we never connected with in high school. And a friend that we've been friends, known each other since we were 12, flew in to go up for that. So it's been awesome. Have breakfast with my son today, who will be 29 tomorrow. So right now it's a little bit of me time.
That's what I'm talking about. Awesome, Edwina. Well done. Very cool. 50-year anniversary. Come on. Carrie, go ahead. Carrie.
I'm grateful for those who believe in me and for those who understand me. You know, there's times where I don't believe in myself, and I have to remember, well, there must be something there because I have people who do believe in me.
That's exactly
So
right.
then I should believe in myself. So it helps.
Yeah, that's exactly right. That's exactly right. How many of you have had people in your life believe in you even when you didn't believe in yourself? Anybody had that? Right? I think every one of us on this screen, we wouldn't even be where we are today had it not been for those people, right? Who stepped in to those spaces of our disbelief, believed on your behalf. I want you to know that I will stand for your greatness, even if you stand for your limitations. All right. If you've been in a room with me, you know, am I right, Felicia? I'm going to stand for your limitations. Even when I'm going to stand for your greatness, even when you stand for your limitations. So Liana, and then I think we had one more. Liana, go ahead.
Yes, so I am the agent that Bonnie has been a rock for. So thank you, Bonnie. She's actually on my list today of people I'm thankful for bringing me along. And also I had you, Dusty, on my list for having this be available to all of us. So I thank Bonnie. I thank you. My first I am a child of God today and every day.
Come on. Well said. Well said. Congratulations to you, Liana. Great job going out there and putting it to work. Very cool. Very cool. All right. Very good. Well, hey, we're going to dive right in today. I just want to kind of recap a little bit about what we talked about last week. In case you weren't on, remember that you can go watch the video today as well. We are live on Facebook and it'll continue to be there. So anybody who's not able to be here today can watch it. You can always go back and watch them. But I just want to remind us a little bit about where we started last week, right? So we talked about that you and I can't go where we're going if we don't know where we're at, right? Right? We talked about your GPS and how what your GPS does is we put in this new address of where I want to go. For instance, your goals, right? Your goals are a new address. It's somewhere that I desire to go that I've never been before. So we put in the goal, we put in the address, and then the first thing that your GPS does before it gives you any routes or directions is it drops a pin where you are. And so last week, we took a really good look. We kind of dug into your heart and your mind and had you take a look at, hey, where are you today, right? Just what's that starting point for you today? All right. And I know for many of you that may have been a heavy exercise as you really took a look at, hey, this is my reality. Okay. And I want to remind you as we get started today that the purpose of that last week was not for you to have judgment, not for you to feel bad. In fact, it was the polar opposite of that. It was for you to be aware of your starting point. Remember, I had you write down 2 things last week. One of them was awareness is transformational, right? That once I know and I'm aware, now I can begin to do something different and go towards my goal. It's a lot of what David Blagan said is, hey, if I'm aware that I'm out of order, I get the choice to what? Get in order, right? Once I am in order, now I get the choice to keep others from getting me out of order, right? It's just an understanding and awareness of where am I, okay? And can I tell you where you are moves all the time? You with me? Right? Like, I mean, there's days we wake up and we're like, this is the day, right? Awesome. And then something hits us from the side and we're like, not the day, right? Everything changes, knocks our legs out from under us, knocks our breath out, right? Didn't see that coming. And yet you and I get to respond in the middle of that. So we identified where you are. I also had you write down honesty is the fertile soil where I grow, right? Okay. And then we leaned in a little bit and we talked about if we're ever going to go from where we are to where we desire to be, it's going to have to be driven by what? By a big why. That it would be driven by a big why. So I'm going to start us again today, just briefly in that same spot, because I want to make sure that every week we get into the depth of your heart, the depth of your spirit, because that's where you and I move from. Okay, you tracking with me on this? Whatever industry you're in, whatever you have in front of you today, all right, what's going to drive you is going to be what's alive inside of you, okay? So everybody hear me. It's enlightenment in here, productivity out there, not the other way around, okay? So it's not, I'm going to go really be productive, build this big career and all these things, and then I'm going to work on me, and then I'm going to get enlightenment. The reason that people have such a challenge is they think that's the process. That's not the process, okay? In fact, when you write down your new address and where you want to go and what your goals are, most people, as I coach them one-on-one, start telling me everything they have to do in order to achieve it, right? You and I, man, we're doers. The more that I can do, the better, right? The busier that I can be, the better. And I'm going to tell you that we need to, we're running right past the B part. Who you are and who you become is how you get where you're going. All right. And there's a beauty in that becoming. Okay. So I want to start us again today and why you do what you do. And so I'm going to do an exercise with you that I think will help you kind of understand this. Okay. All right. So I want you to imagine with me for a second that you and I are in the same room together as opposed to on Zoom. All right. And I want you to imagine that I got a 100-foot board. Okay. It's 100 feet long. It's 6 inches wide. You tracking with me? 100 feet long, 6 inches wide. I'm going to lay that board down on the ground. All right. And I'm going to stand on one end of the board and you're going to stand on the other end of the board. Okay. And I got $100. Yes, $100, Matt Oberski. Okay. Now, all you got to do to get the $100 is you got to walk across the board that's on the ground, 100 feet long, 6 inches wide, and not fall off. Everybody cool with that? Okay. How many of you are coming to get $100? Come on, put your hands up. You know you're coming. Yeah, you're like, yes, I will run across that thing, right? Free 100 for me. Okay. Wendy, you running? I go, okay. You're going to run across it. Okay. Now, here's what we're going to do. All right. We're going to take the exact same board, 100 feet long, 6 inches wide. Okay. We're going to go to 2 100-story buildings. We're going to go to the very top of them, and we're going to lay that same board out across the top of those two where there's this massive 100-foot fall. Okay. Tracking with me? All right. Now, I'm going to stand on one end of the board. You're going to stand on the other end of the board. Now, keep in mind, you just gladly walked across that bad boy to get $100, okay? Safely. It was cool. You didn't even fall, all right? This time, though, 2 100-story buildings, all right? I'm standing on one end. You're standing on the other. I got $100. All you got to do is come across the board. You can have $100. How many of you are coming now? Please do not raise your hands, all right? If you raise your hand right now, we're going to get on here right after this and have a one-on-one coaching call about risk and reward. Okay. Right. You're not coming, are you? So, somebody please come off mute and tell me why you're not coming, so it's all very clear for all of us. Anybody? Why are you not coming?
It's not worth it, Dusty.
I love the risk. It's too great.
There you go, Starling. The risk is too great, right? The risk is too great for the reward on the other end. Okay. Now, I'm going to ask you to do something for me. I want you to close your eyes. I can see you. I just want you to take 1 minute. I want you to close your eyes. Okay. And here's what we're going to do. I'm going to take the exact same board, 100 feet long, 6 inches wide. We're going to go to the exact same 2 buildings, 100 stories tall. We're going to lay that board out across the top of them. All right. Except this time it's really, really different. I'm not there. It's just you. And you're going to stand on one end of that board at the top of one building. And I want you to look across that board on the top of the other building. And this time, I want you to see the people in your world that shake you to your core. Maybe some of the ones you just wrote down on that list. The people that literally you would do anything for. Can you see them? Now, I don't want you just to see them. I want you to hear their voice. Can you hear their voices? You got them? Now, I want you to hear me. I want you to imagine that that building that they're on is burning to the ground. And there's only one way they're going to be okay. You got to go get them. Now, I want you to raise your hand on the call and open your eyes and tell me who's going. You going? Somebody tell me why you're going now. Why now? It's the same board.
The
Why
reward
not?
is a lot. The reward is a lot more important.
It's enough, right? You with me? Everybody, I want you to understand this, okay? Commitment. Everybody write the word commitment down. Here's what commitment means. Commitment means I will do whatever it takes. I will do whatever it takes. I have walked a lot of people through that same scenario that I just talked you through, and every single time, okay, I can hear the voice of my son and my daughter, and I can hear the voice of my bride. You tracking with me on this? And I'm telling you right now, I'm going. Like, you will not stop me, all right? Like, I'm 5'6", 135. I will run you over to get to them, okay? You with me? Okay. I want you to remember every single week as we get started why you run the race. Whatever industry you're in, whatever it is that you do, okay? Are you with me? You got to know why you're running. The why will get you up when you don't want to get up. The why will move you forward when you just want to sit down and rest. You tracking with me on this? Okay. And last week, we really talked about the what and the why. All right. It's not just what you do, it's why you do it. And so as we took that look last week and you wrote those numbers down and you got an understanding of this is where I am, here's what we're going to talk about today. Now we're going to talk about, all right, now how do I begin to go from here to where I actually want to be? How many of you today, no matter what spot you're in, there's somewhere still that you desire to go? Anybody? Is that all of us on this call? That's why you're on this call, right? Right? Like, you got on here to become more, to do and be better, right? So how do we do that? What does that look like? So here's what I'm going to coach you to today, okay? I'm going to coach you to 3 things. Number 1, I'm going to coach you to what is hindering you. I want you to write that question down. What is hindering me? Okay? I want you to think about where you are and take a look at where you want to go and ask the question, what is it that's hindering me? You tracking with me? So I'll tell you real quickly, and most of you, if not all of you, know me pretty well. So I'm a person of faith. I'm never here to put my faith on you. I'm just going to tell you a lot of what you hear comes from that place in me. And so one of my favorite scriptures that I live my life by is that I would throw off everything that hinders me. Tracking with me on this? Right? Can I tell you there's things about Dusty that just hinder me, right? Like some of it's just kind of natural in my DNA that I've got to learn how to work through. Some of it's just choices that I've made or I'm making. You with me? So I want you to ask the question first and foremost today. What is hindering you from getting where you desire to be? Okay, that's question number one. Question number two we're going to talk about today on the call is out of what's hindering you or what's holding you back or what's keeping you from where you desire is I want you to ask these two questions. Out of that, what can I control? Write that question down. What can I control? And then secondly, what can I not control? You with me on this? What can I control? What can I not control? We're going to dive into that a little bit. And then thirdly, as we wrap up today, I'm going to talk to you about, okay, now that we recognize that and we have it down on paper, what adjustments do you need to make? Okay. My plan is that each and every single one of us begin to live and move and breathe in our life and in our business and in our relationships and in our spirit and our heart in a manner that is defined intentionality and defined direction. Okay, you tracking with me on this? In a couple of weeks, we're going to talk about the difference, but here's what I want to tell you. Every one of you on this call, I think we can all agree that we all have the best of intentions. Can we agree with that? Right? Like you don't wake up in the morning like with bad intentions, right? That's like, you don't look in the mirror and go, can't wait to totally blow it today. Right? Like that wasn't your Facebook post this morning, right? You tracking with me on this? We all have the best intentions. Can I tell you something though? The problem is we all have the best of intentions. Okay? We don't understand that it's direction and action, not intentions, that takes us where we want to go. You with me on this? Okay? Like I intend to be a perfect husband. Now, Mama is on the call this morning and she will very clearly say to you that I am not. All right? Because sometimes my direction and my action doesn't line up with my intention. Okay? So the point of the call today is that we take a look at where we desire to go. And then we take a look at, hey, what's hindering me? What can I control? What can't I control? What adjustments do I need to make so that I begin to take the right actions to get where I'm going? I made this point to you last week and I want to make it again this week. The numbers that you wrote down last week around your mind and your heart and your body and your spirit and your relationships, those numbers are the results of the choices you made that led you to here. Okay, you tracking with me on this? All right. Gary Keller wrote a great book called Shift. Whatever industry you're in, I think you should read it. And in the Shift book, he says this: you and I decide who we will be. We decide what we will do. We become the sum of our choices. Okay. So do you think it's a good idea today if we take a look at, right, how we got here, what's hindering us, the choices that we've made, and then what we can control, can't control, and how we make adjustments, all right? So the first question I want you to answer in your journal or whatever you're writing in is, what hinders you? What's holding you back? And can I pause for 1 second and tell all of you something on this call? Some of you, what is holding you back isn't yours to begin with. Okay, are you tracking with me on what I mean by that? Right? Like some of you have limiting beliefs in your life that are holding you back and they're not even yours. So I want you to write down right now what's holding you back. And here's what I'm going to ask. Would some of you drop some of those over here in the chat box? And I want you to drop them in the chat box because I want everybody on the screen to understand that you are not alone in what hinders you. Okay? Fear. First two ones that have come out, fear. Keep going. What do you got? What hinders you? What holds you back? What's keeping you from going where you desire? Unworthy. Come on now. Anybody feeling that this morning? Kim, myself. Yeah. How many of you other people believe in you more than you do? Excuses. There we go, Katie. Now we're getting real. Yeah. Hey, how many of you, even if you don't have an excuse, you're like, oh, Dusty over here, and you'll just make one up? Anybody do that? Right? Like, I can't really find one to give myself an excuse, so I'm just going to create one. Okay. Failing. Hey, Carrie, that's a great thing. Failing in the past. How many of you are letting your past, right, define what? Today. Okay. I want to remind you of something. Everybody hear this today as you write this down. I want to remind you of this. Failure is an event, not a person. Come on now. If you don't hear anything else I say today, would you please write that down? Failure is an event, not a person. You are not a failure. You tracking with me? Like, hey, did you know you can do everything right and it still fail? Like it wasn't even on you. You with me? Failure is an event, not a person. You are not defined by your past. We are defined by how we choose to respond to it. Tracking with me? Okay. Lack of faith, not good enough. Lack of confidence, don't know enough. Financial instability. These sound familiar to everybody? Let me ask you this. What would your life look like if you were to throw off all these things that hinder you? Come on now. Fear. No. I'm gonna throw that out. Hey, everybody hear me. Fear is normal. Fear is natural. There's nothing wrong with fear. Okay. Here's what I want you to know about fear. And this is any emotion that comes your way. Okay. Here's what I want you to hear. You and I don't get to pick every single way that we feel right off the bat. Are you with me? Okay. I don't get to choose my first thought all the time. Anybody ever just get angry before? Anybody? Okay. 2 of you. Rest of you just lying. Okay. Right. How about worried? Anybody ever get worried? Maybe you're worried this morning. Okay. How about just frustrated, man? You know what I mean? Like, okay. Here's what I want you to know. We don't always get to choose our first thought. Fear will come. Worry will come. Anxiety will come. You do get to choose your second thought. You do get to choose what you do with it. You tracking with me on this? Okay. Now, that's going to lead me to the second part that I want to talk to us about. Okay. What you do control and what you don't control. Okay. What you can control and what you can't. All right. Because can I tell you with all the people that I get the gift and honor coach all across the country, can I tell you what most people show up doing in my world? They show up looking at all the things they can't control. That's what they start talking to me about. Right? If you're in the real estate industry, so many real estate agents come to me like, man, interest rates are so high. People don't want to move. They want to hold on. I'm like, you can't control any of that. Right? What people say, think, do, we can't control any of that. And we spend so much energy. We waste so much energy on working to control the things that we can't. So here's what I want you to do real quick. I want you to think right now of whatever business, whatever industry you're in. I want you to write down everything right now you cannot control. Go ahead. Just start writing it down. Everything in your industry or business that you cannot control. Write it down. And then as we start to do it, some of you put your hand up and let me know some of the things, maybe 1 or 2 of the things you wrote down of things you can't control. Some people are putting over here, we can't control other people, the market, rates. Anybody else? You can type them in the chat box. You can come off mute. What can we not control? There we go. What others think. Who answers the phone? Other people's motivation. Everything and everyone except ourselves. There you go, Rebecca. Right? Rejection, objections. Okay. Now, here's what I want you to do next. I want you to write down everything you can control. Write down everything you can control. My attitude, me, how we respond. Keep them going. What can I control? Making the calls, my attitude, my hard work, how I think, my reaction. There we go. How I educate my clients. my commitment, my belief, my desire. Okay, now let me ask you this. If you're going to go from where you are to where you desire to be, are you going to get there based on what you cannot control? No. You're going to get there based on what you can control. Let me tell you the number one thing you can control. Everybody draw a big circle on whatever you're writing on. And I want you to write one word inside of that circle. Me. That's it. Me. You control how you think. You control what you do. You control where you lean in, where you lean out. And I want to give you a couple other questions that I think are going to help you this week. And I want this to be your mindset this week. Okay. I want you to write this question down. What am I seeking to control that I can't? What am I seeking to control that I can't? As things don't go your way this week, because there will be things that don't go your way, I want you to ask the question, what am I seeking to control in this moment that I cannot? Because whatever you're seeking to control that you cannot is a waste of your energy. You with me? And then I want you to write this question down. What am I not controlling that I can? Any of you got that going on this morning? How many of you know some things right now that you can control and you're choosing not to control? Do you know why you're choosing not to control them? Because you're so dadgum busy focusing on the things that you can't. Right? Or you just don't want to face it. Okay? Can I tell you where the biggest growth of your life is going to come? It's not going to come in your comfort. It's going to come in your uncomfort. You with me? Okay, the greatest moments of growth in my life have come from one spot. Spots that I don't like, right? Spots of uncomfortable, spots of that didn't go my way, spots of that's not fair, okay? Can I tell you what happens in the Oglesby house when my kids say that's not fair? I tell you what happens. This happens. We say, you're right. You're welcome. Yeah. Welcome to Life 101. Things ain't going to go your way. What are you going to do about it? Okay, that leads me to the third piece where I want to kind of wrap up with us and then take any questions and mastermind with you a little bit. But so the third part is, now that we recognize, right, here are the things that hinder me. Here are the things that are holding me back. Some of you got things holding you back. You've been letting you hold you back for like 20 years. And it's time that you throw off all those things that hinder you, okay? And then now we've taken a look at, okay, what can I control? What can I not control in my life, okay? In my business, in my relationships. Anybody on this call in a relationship or ever want to be in one? Okay. Can I give you some relational advice? Focus on what you can control. And let me tell you the first thing you cannot control. Them, just for the record. All right. You can control you. Okay. Story, is he listening over here? Okay. You listening, bro? Right? Like, wait, hey, I got to draw the circle around me. I got plenty to work on over here. I don't need to worry about everybody else. But let me tell you the third and final thing, and it's this. Now that we know these things, my question to you is, what adjustments do you need to make, and how adjustable are you? You with me? What adjustments do I need to make, and how adjustable am I? Because hey, everybody hear me. You want to get to where you're going, you better get real comfortable being uncomfortable and be able to adjust. We better, hey, in this season that we're in the season that's coming in the world we live in, we better be the most resilient people on the planet, okay? Let me give you the best example I can of that, okay? I learned what adjustment and resiliency and uncomfort are and how to deal with them from my, at the time, 9-year-old daughter. All right. Like, I just want you to know, man, I learned more from these two little people in my house than I think I've ever learned from anybody, especially all the money that I paid in college. All right. Okay. So 9 years old, I got to take my daughter to the daddy-daughter dance. Come on now. Daddy-daughter dance in the Oglesby house. This is a big deal. All right. I've been taking this little sister since she was like 3 years old. And we had this run of like 3 years. We didn't get to go to the daddy-daughter dance because that thing called the pandemic hit. You know what I'm saying? And so as we came out of the pandemic, we got to go to the daddy-daughter dance last year. And my daughter was so excited, man. Like she started talking about this like 6 months out. She's like, Daddy, we're going to the daddy-daughter dance. Come on, come on. She was so excited. Okay. And we do everything big at the Oglesby house. I don't know if y'all know that or not. We do everything really, really big. And so my bride, man, she goes, gets her a brand new dress, gets her nails done, gets her hair all professionally did. Like, I didn't even know it could cost that much money for one little girl to go to a dance. I kept reminding her mom, I'm like, you know, sis, they ain't getting married, right? We're just going to a dance. But we went all in, Blagan, all in. And my little girl comes walking down those stairs. Okay. And I don't know if y'all see my daughter, and I know I'm biased, but come on now. Okay. Like, she beautiful. She looked like her mama. Starling, not only she looked like, she talked like her, walked like her, moved like, world changer. Okay. She comes downstairs. We go to the daddy-daughter dance. Now, let me back up a little bit. 3 years ago when the pandemic hit, y'all remember when all our kids came home from school, right? Like all of a sudden the world, Laura, you know what I'm talking about? It was like, oh, hello. All right. World looks different, right? Well, when our kids came home and we started homeschooling them, they really started to thrive, man. And so we have kept them in homeschool. In fact, part of our life plan now, and me coming off the road, is that we travel together and do things that like and everybody makes their choice. I'm just saying our choice was to keep them in homeschool. Now, because of that, my kids' friend pool is smaller. Okay. We got people that we run deep with, and yet we don't have like just friends everywhere. So we walk into the daddy-daughter dance, and my daughter immediately realizes that she doesn't know a single person in that whole room. Okay. Can you imagine? Right. Now, let me tell you the mindset of a 9-year-old Oglesby. Okay. I realized this. She realized this. Dad goes into a little bit of a panic. All right. Because it's just me. And my daughter looks up at me and says, hey, Dad, I don't know anybody in here, and I'm so excited to meet them. That's what she said. That's her mindset. She like, come on, bring them to me, right? She's so excited. So we go sit down. She eats faster than humanly possible. She's like, Dad, can I go play with everybody now and meet everybody? I'm like, yes, girl, you go. She didn't want to dance with me. I got over at Blagan. She wanted to just go meet all of her friends, right? So so she goes out, and ladies, I don't know if y'all know you do this. Christy, Perry, I remember you doing this like back in the day, like in middle school. I don't know if y'all know you do this, but y'all getting like little pockets of girls. Do y'all know you do this? And you like mind you, we're at a daddy-daughter dance and no one is dancing. Okay, nobody on the dance floor. They're all in these little pockets of girls. And so my daughter starts to go to the little pocket. So there's like one little pocket of like the little Miss Thing group, like we're just too good for everybody, little group. There's that little group. And then there was like a little choreographer group, you know, they're all doing their little dance thing. And there's a little group like that. And then there's all these little groups of all the little shy girls that they're not talking to each other or doing anything. They just feel better being together, but they're not saying anything. And so my daughter starts to go to each little circle. Okay. Each little circle, and she gets a little Miss Thing group, and they just shut her down, man. Like, not even an option. We are too good for you. Keep walking. And my sweet little daughter, man, she puts her head down, and she starts walking with her head down. She gets to the next group, and you can see her like raise her shoulders back up. She smiles. She walks up to the choreographer group. Shut her down, man. Right? She didn't know to dance. They shut her down. And I literally watched my daughter go around to every single group. And can I tell you something? They all told her no. Okay. Can you imagine? You guys remember being little and being shut down like that? And so just the brokenheartedness of my sweet little girl. So she starts walking back to me. Okay. And I can see the crocodile tears from a mile away. All right. Little sister, not okay. All right. And I'm thinking, okay, like mama ain't here. You gotta man up, bro. Get ready for this. Okay. So, she comes over to me, big crocodile tears. I get down on one knee and I say, hey, sweet girl, tell me what happened. And she says with big tears, Dad, nobody wants to play. They all said no, all of them. And then she said this as a 9-year-old, and some of them were really rude. That's what she said, right? Right? Anybody know, anybody been around some rude people? We're adults. Anybody been rude this week, right? Shut you down, okay? Okay, so in that moment, I want you to know that my dad heart kicked in, okay? And what I wanted to say and do was I wanted to say, oh no, girl, they will play. Why don't you just come with Dad? We'll rock right over little Miss Thing. I may not be intimidating the most, but I can intimidate a little 4th grade little girl, right? So I mean, I was ready, man, like, oh, hot, okay? But I knew in that moment that that was not going to help my daughter, because you know what she was experiencing? Life. Anybody had anything handed to you? Anybody been told no? Anybody ever been rude to you? Things not go your way? Okay. So in that moment, I knew that it was my job to teach her and coach her. And so here's what I did. Okay. I said, I'm going to tell you one thing and I'm going to ask you one question. I said, here's what I'm going to tell you. We ain't going home. Okay. We're not going to take our little ball and go home because somebody didn't want to play. That's not the way the world works. And then I said, what are you going to do about it? And I sat down and I let my 9-year-old decide how she was going to deal with it. Okay. So she looks around, wipes her eyes. Now, this was after, a little bit, I want to go home. We're like, no, we ain't going home. She wipes her eyes. And in the middle of the tables, they had these big, huge purple balloons. I mean, huge. Okay. Like bigger than my daughter's body. And they had lights in them. Okay. And we're at Stonebriar Country Club. And she says, can I have one of the balloons, Dad? And I was like, I don't know if you can, but I know what I paid to be here. So yes, you can. So I said, take one of those balloons. And so I grab her the balloon. She takes it. And here's what she does. She walks out with this massive balloon and she walks onto the dance floor. No one is on the dance floor. No one. Okay. She walks onto the dance floor and here's what she does. Just her by herself. She starts jumping up and down with her big balloon. She starts swinging it like this. Huge, swinging it like this. Okay. My favorite moment of the night, she threw in a Ride the Pony. Okay. I was so proud. She's doing a Ride the Pony across the stage. Nobody's out there. And Felicia, I'm doing what you're doing. I'm thinking two things. I'm so proud of you. And I'm thinking, oh no, like, what are you doing? Like, this could be bad. And can I tell you what happened? All the little Miss Thing girls were like, oh, wait a second. Look at that little girl. And they went and got a purple balloon and they came out on the dance floor. And all the little choreographer girls, they were like, oh, wait a second, little Oglesby can dance. I'm like, yes, she can. So they got their balloon and they went out on the dance floor. And all these shy girls, like girls I didn't even know they were there, they're like peeling off the wall. They come and get on the dance floor. And I want you to know within 5 minutes of my daughter walking onto that dance floor, there was a full-on dance party in the middle of Stonebriar Country Club. And my little girl's leading the way. Come on, man. Like I'm in the back crying dad tears. I'm calling mom. I'm like, you're not going to believe what our daughter did, man. Like, it was one of those moments like, hey, if you have kids, you feel like you're messing it up 90% of the time. This was one moment where I was like, we nailed it, right? Because here's what I want you to know she did. She did what I'm pleading with you today. She took a look at what was holding her back. She took a look at what she could control, what she couldn't control, and then she made the adjustment to go create what she wanted. And by the time we walked away from there, can I tell you, all these little girls are asking for her phone number. They're like, can we have her number? And I'm like, no, you can't. I'm just kidding. I didn't do that. I'm not mean, okay? I was like, yes, you can. Sign right here, right? But here's what I'm saying. This week, you get the opportunity to own your world just like that. Okay. Now, I don't know what it's going to look like for you. Here's what I can tell you though. Whatever hand you're going to be dealt, you got to look around. You got to find the purple balloon. You got to find the opportunity. Okay. You may have to walk out on the dance floor all by yourself. Here's what I'm going to tell you. Get out on the dance floor. There is no dance without dancing. Okay. Even if you're the only one. That's how you and I go from where we are to where we want to be. Tracking with me? Does this help you today? Okay. All right. Be the world changer that you are. Stop focusing on what you can't control. Stop making your excuses. and get your mind set on the things that you know are going to move you forward. Throw away what hinders you, focus on what you can control, make the adjustments that need to be made, and do that starting right now, and have an incredible week this week. All right. Let's hear from you. What'd you learn today? How can I help you? How can I serve you before we jump off? What are some of your biggest ahas? What do you got? What do you got? I can do it all over again. Okay, go for it. Cherry, and then Bonnie, go for it.
So I love that you can do it all over again. Can we do it all over again? How many people want him to do it all over again? Listen, I started the call with you and I immediately got these Dusty vibes. And I have to tell you that there is something life-changing about your energy when you enter into a room, on a call, whatever you're doing. Thank you so much for that. The biggest one for me actually happened in the beginning when you said how many people, you said something, and I'm not going to get it right in the Oglesby way, but it goes something like this. You need people in your corner to root for you, even when you're standing in your own limitations. Oh, here it is. I'm going to stand for your greatness, even when I am standing even when you stand in your limitations.
That's right.
I think it was something like that.
That's right.
That is so powerful. That is so powerful to understand that we are not alone, and that I get to make the choice, because someone's making the choice to stand for me. I get to also make that choice to stand for somebody and make sure they know that they're great as well.
That's right. That's right. Come on. Come on.
And that's the feeling I get. But thank you. Thank you beyond thank you.
Thank you. Well said. Well said. Bonnie, then Wendy. What do you got, Bonnie?
Okay, I'm keeping it real here. Sorry, this is why I was not on camera.
You
But
did.
failure is not is an event, not a person. I've been a CrossFit trainer for the last, I don't even know how long. Love it. It's one of my favorite things in the whole entire world. But one thing that I have learned is that it doesn't matter how many times you fail with that barbell, you pick it back up and you try again, and eventually you drill it, and you'll get it.
That's
And
right.
I think it's so cool it's the biggest thing that I think holds us back, is getting out there and trying something and giving it a go, because most of what we're trying is going to take a little bit of investment. It's going to take something from us to put out there and give it a go. And thank you for that, because I've been waiting on hiring a VA and doing all these things and kind of going, I don't know, because I'm not 100% sure. But that failing is what really teaches us how to get it right and
right.
how to overcome it, and to drill it till it's really good.
That's right.
Thank
Spot
you.
on. That's spot on. Hey, team, remember this. You're not failing. You're learning how to succeed. That's what you're doing. Okay. You're just learning how to succeed. One more. Wendy, round us out. What do you got? You're on mute, Wendy. There we go.
I said, I must leave and keep shining. I'm on mute.
We
I'm
can hear you
sorry.
now. We're
Okay.
good.
I believe that I must keep shining and growing. Okay. God has a unique purpose to fulfill. It's about catching God's vision and seeking his directions and instruction and running with that vision. I must be a positive light for others and not looking back or forfeit my destiny.
Yeah. Come on, Wendy. Well said. Hey, it's super good to see you, my friend. Come on. Very good.
Thank you.
Very good. Fell forward, fell off, and fell fast. Come on. That's what I'm talking about. Sherry Hendrick, are you on this call? Can you hear me, Sherry Hendrick? That's my cousin, y'all. Come on now.
I'm on your call. I was driving into work. I am so proud of you, dude.
Come on. I love you. You made my eyes water. I love you. Bless
Well,
you. Love you, girl. Come on.
it's the most important thing you said is failure is an event. It doesn't define you. It doesn't make who you are. It's an event. So what did you learn from it and move on?
That's right. Come on. I love you, girl. Woo! It's my
Love you.
family, y'all. Y'all hear that twang in her? Come on. That comes honest over here in the Oglesby. Oglesby Massey. She's a Massey. Come on. I love you. Hey, guys, I love you. Bless
Love
you.
you.
Thank you for being on. Tell everybody you know to get on here. We are all in this together. You are not alone. I will see you this next Monday, 7:30 to 8:30. Okay? Come on now. I love you. Bless you guys. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Great call.
Thank you.
See you soon. See you
Thanks so
soon.
much.